a faculty coordinator. A faculty coordinator at SIAS, yeah. And nice to meet you all, especially you and Sandra Shenge in this meeting. Thank you.
Yeah, greetings. So I am Sandra Shenge, the Director of Programs at AEGIS Trust. Yeah, I think that's it.
So I highlight some of the points of cooperation as discussed earlier on emails and phone calls. Dr. Emmanuel, are you still on board?
Yes, I'm there. I just wanted to connect to my stable internet here.
So what are we doing? Are we waiting for somebody else, or
We are waiting for Dr. Emmanuel to connect here so that he can tell us a brief about SIAS, or rather you can be telling us about your organization as he is connecting, if it's fine with you.
I mean, what do you want to know exactly? Just to give a bit of background on how I got contacted. I think what was you, Belize, who got in contact because you wanted to suggest some collaboration areas between our two organizations, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So what do you need
Exactly.
from me? I'm actually
I'm
joining.
now stable. I'm now having
Okay,
a stable
perfect, Dr. Emmanuel.
network. Mm.
Sorry?
Okay, so I'm telling Sandra was asking what was, so it was about the cooperation. So maybe you can tell, like we are telling you about organization, what we do, and maybe,
Yeah.
or I sent you a link on your email to see, yeah. Okay, it's fine then if you are aware about our institute. So primarily, SIAS usually partake in, we collaborate with different organizations, either national or international organizations, especially here in Rwanda, and collaborate with them for different purposes. So in the MOU, usually detail about all the functions, all the activities that will be partook within the cooperation. So yeah, that was the purpose of the meeting.
Yeah, good.
Okay, good morning, everybody, and apologize for being late. I apologize specifically for Sandra. Really, I forgot about the appointment. So, and I'm looking forward that we see how we can collaborate with your organization. My name is Mohamed Bouhidji. I'm the founder of the SIAS, and we work on principles similar to what you are working on, especially in the area of resilience economy and inspiration economy, and in general community stabilities and so on. So we've been doing many projects relevant to in this area. Do you hear me, Sandra?
Yes, I can hear you. I was telling the team, good morning first. So I
Morning
was
to you.
telling the
Good
team that,
morning.
yeah, that we've been, Belize contacting me just to propose some areas of cooperation, but I don't know much more of what you do,
Okay.
except what is on the website. So maybe you can share a little bit of what you had thought of, how you identified us as an organization, so
Sure.
that maybe you can
Sure.
take it from there. Mm-hmm.
Sure. So I was really impressed when I've seen the work in the Kigali Genocide Memorial. This is where I taken your name, and I asked
All right.
actually a long time ago Even when yeah, we started actually in April to operate here. We you know, I mean, we established ourselves since November last year, but till we got, you know, the place and renovation and so on. So we fully operated in April this year. It's about eight months now since we started. But when we came here in July last year, and then in November again when we started to, you know, buy and prepare the things and so on. I visited, of course, many times the Kigali Genocide Memorial, and I was impressed by the way the things has been prepared. And even though there are it is photo-based museum, and by the way, I have paper on museums, and maybe you'll be interested in that. But anyway, I was very impressed in how much it affects. The more I bring visitors, and I brought many visitors there since that time who visit me from family, from friends, from official visitors and so on. And I found that this is very great work, and the concept and the principles and the models that you have used, especially in the end, it is very relevant to what we try to do actually. But you are focusing more on conflict resolution, which we had actually recently a workshop on. But we are focusing on more in socio-economic side. So we use resilience, which is your theme, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, towards bringing better opportunities to the economy. While you are focusing more, I think, in the political side and conflict, coexistence side, which is also, we mentioned this in my books. Yeah, I have about 4 books in resilience economy, and more than 40 papers in resilience economy itself and so on. So we brought a concept called resilience economy, not similar to resilience economy relevant to banking or resilience of countries. Resilience of countries or banking is relevant to money, how much money they have, how much they can be resilient in their diversification of their product and so on. We are talking about here resilience economy that can absorb a problem, a conflict. For example, now we have about lab in Gaza. Last time during COVID, we had lab on COVID, and so on. Whenever there is a crisis, we bring what we call labs. Okay, these labs is try to solve the problem, bring the collection of multidisciplinary, specialists, professors, academics, thinkers, and so on, so that they can tackle the problem from different perspectives. So this is the focus. The focus is we feel, and if we collaborate with each other, we can bring many projects because we are project oriented. Even though now we are establishing academic institution, but frankly, all our history since 2013, when we established our first journals about resilience economy, inspiration economy, and even 2015 when we established our first institute in Slovenia. By the way, I'm come from Bahrain, by the way. But I established it because to make it international. And as you can see, and then we put different institutes. We have one in Bahrain, one in Morocco, and so on. But later also we had many societies that work for the same principle, which is inspiration and resilience. Because we believe we can't inspire communities unless it has become resilient and knows how to absorb problems. Because any fact of life and every nothing called sustainable stability. Always there will be instability, and then people will learn from it and bring from it creative solutions to develop their community or socio economy. So this is maybe in a nutshell, and we look forward in 3 areas of collaboration, not only projects, but also if you are present, as I know that you have office here in Kigali, through the also if we can have you like as visiting professors, that you can come and participate in our master and PhD programs, which is hopefully we are going to get the full accreditation soon from the HEC. Beside, we do also research. So these are 3 areas we focus on: academic program, projects, and research. So I'm not sure if you have any specific question. I can answer it also.
Well, this is a lot to just yeah, I hadn't have time to look into what you do, but the 3 areas you're suggesting are all relevant what we do on our side, maybe in relation to the three you've just mentioned. We do have in terms
maybe
of, sorry, give me a second. Yeah.
a little bit. Hello? Hello?
I think she is going for something interruption.
Hello?
She have. Yes. Continue, sister.
Hello?
Yes, we can hear you.
Add
Yeah,
something on
sure.
our
So
programs,
I'm working.
maybe.
Dr. Emmanuel, please wait till Sandra finish and
Yes.
then you can intervene, please. Okay. Yes,
Okay.
ma'am. Continue, Sandra.
Oh, okay, good. I thought Dr. Emmanuel was going to speak. Yeah, I was saying, in relation to the three things you've just mentioned, maybe I can tell you what we do in that sense, and we can look into whether it would be relevant to collaborate. Academic programs, specifically the visiting program you've just mentioned. We work closely with the universities. Dr. Emmanuel may be aware of that, by actually engaging researchers, academics specifically, in our dialogues, very community-oriented dialogues, where we play the role of facilitating them. So whoever, for instance, if there's a researcher who has produced a research paper, let's say some research work, it doesn't have to be an academic or journal paper. It can also be an article or whatever format it is. We facilitate the dialogue based on that knowledge with our communities, and especially the young people, for instance. It's something we work on very, very, we put our focus on. This is around the collaboration with the academia. The projects, there are many. You may have seen it in the memorial. We work mainly in the peace education, where again we facilitate, we give trainings to categories of people of Rwanda in general, with content on peace education, the values, how to navigate past wounds and all that. And some other projects we have, which are related to the third pillar you've mentioned, are in the research area. So we get money and we give grants to Rwandan researchers for them to conduct research on emerging issues in the society. So for instance, last week we had a conference on intergenerational dialogue, how young people are navigating these new challenges they are meeting in relation to the consequences of the genocide against the Tutsi, and specifically the guilt, the shame, the transmission of trauma. So in the three areas we've mentioned, we do have activities, but I don't know if you I don't know if you have already maybe reflected on the kind of collaboration we may have. I'm really,
Yes.
I would be happy to listen.
If I may, before Dr. Emmanuel, yes, I will tell you, first of all, we are very interested on these areas, but also we are interested to develop more in these areas. For example, you mentioned, let me start with the last point, which is about emergent issues with intergeneration and so on. I feel in going back to always genocide against Tutsi is good for memory, but we should build also something to prevent such things happen in the future, because still you are in a place where it have a probability that it might have genocide or civil war, or unfortunately, and like most of the Middle East countries and and the African countries. So here we are. Yesterday, actually, we started a research with Dr. Emmanuel and his team for example, NEET, which is those youth, which is I've been observing for a long time, here since I stayed here approximately now 1 year, and as expert, I'm observer. Most of the time I observe and then absorb, and then I reflect through my publications and so on. So if you Google NEET and my name, you'll see that I'm one of the most popular people who publish about NEET. NEET stand for those youth specifically, which is not in employment, not in employment, and not in education, and not in training. That's the short term NEET. Okay. Now this one is a problem because can be a political problem, can be a chaos problem in the future if the youth, especially those who graduate from university, they don't get employed or they get much lower salary than what they expected. Then this is it can be a a source of instability in the community and so on. So I believe that this one issue that is interesting maybe for us, if you are interested in that area, we can work on to prevent something not to happen. This is what we call it, proactiveness. Something not happen, but can happen. So better the other thing is that we work also in what we call intergeneration. Okay, and this is why we brought what we call aging economy, because intergeneration call, for example, for extended family, not nucleus family, call for example, the emphasis of communication between the different generations and the communication models, including, for example, learning from each other and so on, and closing the gap between the different generations. And I can see this will come over time. The more you'll have more middle class, you'll have this gap of intergeneration in general. So this is maybe example of my comment on the last point, if I may. For the peace education, for sure, I want to know, how can we collaborate with you? Because we are interested in that. Even this is maybe for sure. This is one of the most important point, because part of our resilience, and people understand what means time of war or conflict or a problem or instability. What it means time of peace and so on. And the last thing is about the academic facilitation, for sure. This is also techniques that we can participate in for facilitating for other academics, not only through your organization, but we are interested also to show our model in how to create really an effective academic curriculums. Yeah, even though we are a new institute here and we are new in academic reputation, but we use techniques totally different than the techniques, classical techniques that is used here. Which is, for example, we use flip class. The students, they are the one who gonna lead the class, not the teachers. And we don't have a closed book exam. We have open book exams. And exams is very limited in size. Most of our students, and this is easier, of course, with postgraduate, and they are supposed to get their marks, 70% of their mark approximately, from projects, whether small or long-term projects. So this is an example of even a type of, again, it emphasizes the resilience in mind because it uses a multidisciplinary approach. As I said, for example, even in our classes, we will not have one professor who teach the module. Always we'll have two professors from different backgrounds. He might be economics or psychologist or something, and the other guy he might be, or the other woman professor, she will be for example, social science and so on. So this is maybe just a quick comment on what you said. Can we give a chance to Dr. Emmanuel?
Yeah, I think you have exhausted almost the whole of our program, but of course we should be also very much interested in peace education. I personally have been participating in different courses of peace education, and I liked the AEGIS Trust approach also. Together with Rwanda Education Board, they contribute a lot in peace education. Yeah, but of course, in these areas of peace education and also intergenerational research, and also socioeconomic research are very prioritized in our institution, and we can, of course, partner in this field. Yeah, I mean mostly two areas: one, peace education; second, socioeconomic area of interest, which is of course, for our institute interest in socioeconomic progress of the community, and if AEGIS Trust agree, then those two areas of research can be developed mutually. Thank you.
Thank you, Doctor. It's maybe interesting for you also, Sandra. We look at things, in a different way. We see potential problem. We are future foresighters. One of the programs we are going to bring, hopefully after we start our these 3 programs, PhD in inspiration economy and then resilience economy, masters and so on, is that we want to bring also a program called Future Foresight in socio-economic challenges and problems. Means that there are future problems coming that can create inequality in general. And inequality anyway, it causes to instability and conflict and so on. So we solve the problem much before it comes. For example, just give you something very far away from conflict, but it can create conflicts. For example, NCDs, non-communicable diseases. It might grow in this community in Rwanda, and it will grow more because of people is coming more towards middle class. The movement will be less and so on. It will create inequality because who's living healthy life? It will be the rich. Those the rest, they will be not living eating fast food and so on. And maybe you can see this as a trend now in your community. This creates more inequality. Let's see how far it is from political or conflict that we know and so on. But still, it can bring challenges to the community in the long run. So we are future foresighters, and we write about things similar to that. So that we can avoid the problems to happen in the future, or we work on that actually as a project. We take it as a project and we try, for example, or even the movement from all the districts to Kigali, and leaving or the villages to Kigali. This is itself migration, as internal migration itself is again a source for future challenges and so on.
Yeah,
Sorry.
absolutely. No, it's fine. I mean, I agree with you. We actually, the two organizations have exactly the same thinking. We also prevent genocide, really constantly looking at emerging issues, as I was saying, and really conducting research on it and giving practical recommendations of what could be done in different ways. So it's definitely pertinent to look at potential areas of collaboration. So coming back to research, maybe I'll share a little bit about our model so that we can see where to start thinking of cooperation. So we have 2 models in terms of conducting research. So on one side, we have grants, as I was saying. So we put out a call for proposal, people apply. Rwandan researchers are entry point, but they can be in co-authorship with non-Rwandans. And then we give grants, we facilitate the dissemination, we give them advisory services all through their research. And then we organize dissemination platforms for them to communicate their knowledge to the end users. And specifically, we pay attention to having policymakers and other practitioners in the room when that knowledge is being disseminated. So this is one way. Another way we've recently introduced is more exploratory, where we engage a number of again, it can be researchers or practitioners, as long as they are intending to look at a very specific issue. And we've just given a good example, Dr. Mohammed, about the disease. But we look at the causes, potential causes of conflict in general. And somebody comes, sits around a table together with other colleagues. The format depends on how the team is organized. And they explore. We call it exploratory because it's not research in the sense that it's not academic research, but they definitely use research methodologies to look at a specific question and actually direct the reflection, the thinking around that thing. So currently, for instance, somebody is looking at the use of social media and how it affects mental health of young people. This is the kind of projects we fund. Somebody else is looking at how the Kigali as a city, how it's in French, ancrage, how people feel connected to the city can influence the way they live their peace in every day. So they'll be looking at how people are feeling connected to the city, how much they are, for instance, participating in those social cohesion, spaces that are created in a country. And this, in the end, informs us as an organization as to what the kind of priorities we have to look at, the kind of projects we should be, focusing on, the kind of funding, the kind of partnerships we should be putting in place. Because in the end, we are practitioners. However much we are interested in research and being evidence-based, but in the end, we are interested mostly in having that knowledge, helping us to think and to be coherent in what we do. So potential areas of collaboration, what I can see is maybe three things. If we can jointly raise funds and to collaborate on specific research projects, that is something we've been doing in the past. And it's really about looking at topics that speak to both our organizations and really go into it and raise funds to collaborate around a research topic. This is one way. Another way is through our research grant process I've just described, we also do some capacity building for researchers. So last week, for instance, we had a capacity building workshop. I don't know if Dr. Emmanuel was maybe attended or not, but the workshops are very practical, and it speaks really, it's very similar to the things you were mentioning, Dr. Mohammed, about using very participatory and interactive methods to tackle research methodology, and to have very practical case studies, for instance, with our contributors that help the researchers to really see how research can be put in practice. So we can envisage having SIAS, collaborating with you when it comes to organizing those capacity building spaces, platforms. The next one is next year, sometime around May, June. So it's something we can envisage, if we keep that in our calendars, to really look at how we could enrich each other. This is number 2. So number 3, in terms of areas of potential collaboration, I was thinking of, throughout our programs, I was saying it, we always make sure that we facilitate dialogue between different categories of the community in Rwanda. So one researcher producing something, some work, doing some work, some interesting reflecting work on, a topic that is of big interest. We make sure that we invite the community that is interested, the policymakers, the practitioners, the students, the teachers, plenty of people from different areas of life to come around the table and exchange, learn from each other and leave again the room. Really, what we push for is for people to take action. So I'm taking some knowledge to you. How are you going to use it as a local community-based organization, for instance, or whoever you are around the table? How are you going to use it in your everyday life? So these dialogues, again, as I was saying, there is always a way of identifying a topic that is of common interest to our two organizations and collaborate in organizing that and bringing people together. What I'm thinking of, especially the what you had mentioned around visiting program for professors, what we try to do as well is to make sure that so AEGIS Trust is it's a British organization, so we don't work in our corner in Rwanda. We always try to open up to the world. So SIAS, for instance, something interesting I'm seeing is that you have that exposure to the international research world that we can benefit from, and we can also on our side bring in those, I would say, contextualized realities to discuss about a global issue. So those dialogues, those seminars, the organize of those kind of knowledge exchange platforms is something we can do together as well. Yeah, so these are the three things from hearing from you I was thinking of.
Frankly, you are ahead of me, and this is one of the things I wanted to conclude is that maybe the tip of our collaboration. I mean, these all will help us to show the other people who will come and visit, hopefully, SIAS forums or workshops. And even though we are in Rwanda, Sister Sandra, but we
Yes.
are we want to be this like our hub for future branches of SIAS around the world. That much, yani, we are thinking, like we did for, you know, the International Inspiration Economy Project, we call it IIEB, which is spread now, and as I told you, in more than 29 countries, and we are available in more than 50 countries indirectly through a collaboration with other societies. And we have many projects now going on in different countries that minimize, you know, the challenges of the community, and in the end also minimize disturbance in the community. And forums will be one of the top collaboration, I think, that people come and you come and talk to them, or you take them to a visit, a specific visit to a certain project beside the museum, and so on.
Yeah.
And you know, the dialogue, we are doing every week a dialogue, or every second week a dialogue, every Saturday, every second Saturday. So I'm thinking just loudly now, if it is suitable for you, is that we do one time a dialogue, and one time we do a workshop together. And I wish that when we did the conflict resolution workshop, you were there, but unfortunately, I think maybe you could, Harwa could not get you there, because I told her specifically that we need you to be participate, at least one of you guys, and so on. But anyway, and this is all recorded, by the way, all our workshops and so on. Yani we have more than, by the way, just for information, more than now 3,000 uploads in the workshops and so on in our YouTube channel. We are highly cited. So, I mean, even for you, I'm not sure about your publication, I mean, citation and so on. If you did publish about Rwanda and so on, and how much citation you have. But we have high citation in that area. We pass now 4,000 citation. So this is an example. I mean, just as the project, not other also authors and so on. So there are lots of areas that we really, if we focus on and we take it step by step, we can work on it together. And surely we are interested to even the the current publication. And now, for example, we're writing about why Rwanda is becoming a model. You know, about your Mugunda practices, blah blah, which is available in the museum. But now we're writing it from and comparing how what countries they wanted. This is again Dr. Emmanuel and our researcher. She is also working on that. So this is example of where we are, and we are applying it, because you can see the conflicts will not stop once. As long as there is a life, there will be always conflict, unfortunately. Okay, but what we do, we try to mitigate, or alleviate or eliminate a problem. That's what we even we work on, either mitigating a problem or alleviating a problem, or eliminating. For poverty, we now manage to eliminate poverty in certain areas, in certain villages. I mean, we take complete village and so on. So I'm very interested, and let's hope what is the next step now in your from your point, you think? Do we go for now MOU first and we put all our ideas, or you want to visit us, or what is?
Yeah, for the MOU signing, I think I'll have to go through our partnership department and see with our CEO. So what I'm going to do on my side is just giving feedback. So my management was aware of the call. I'm going to give feedback on us. What I would propose maybe is on your side, if Belize can help, or Dr. Emmanuel, putting the notes together so that we can identify specifically the kind of activities we could collaborate on. If you are able to put some sort of timeline on it, it's always better so that we can follow up. This would be helpful as well. So me giving feedback internally, if you are able to preparing the minutes, well, the notes from this meeting, especially on the action points or the potential areas of collaboration we've just identified, and then we take it from there.
Sure. And I am sure we can work, we can bring many good things together, especially as I told you, maybe each of our students is a potential expert. And we want to prepare our students to be not, just a graduate of PhD or master, but they a potential expert. They are already ready to the field and so on. So with your, of course, collaboration, we can make that really a success story in the long term also. I'm not talking about short term also.
Sure, of course, yeah.
Okay.
No problem.
Thanks a lot for your time,
Great,
and I
thank
apologize again
you.
for being late.
No
And hope
problem.
I look forward for to meeting
Yeah,
you in person.
yeah, pleasure. Don't hesitate when you pass by.
Thanks a lot. So
Okay,
I'll give you
perfect.
Herwa.
So, Sandra, I will, okay, thank you so much for attending the meeting. So, for Sandra, I'll share the meeting on your email. I have your email
Yeah.
for
Yes.
your personal review. Yeah, so thank you so much and have a great
Most
day.
welcome. All right. Great day to you
Okay.
all. Bye.
Okay. And please try to visit us whenever you have time.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Okay.
We plan
Thanks
that.
a lot.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay,
Bye-bye.
perfect. Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Bye.